Duke Prepper here. Just a couple of quick things about prepping in our current life. Um, just a quick background on Mrs. Prepper and myself. We have the unique opportunity to travel for work. We spend anywhere from a year to 2 years in each location, and then we move on to the next one. And it suits our lifestyle. We really enjoy it. We get to see the country on my wonderful company's dollar for the most part, excuse me. But we still have that nagging feeling in the back of our head that we need to prep. So it's just a short video on what we do for what we call an apartment prepping. We could rent houses when we're on the road, but it gets a little difficult with having to break leases and things like that when you have to leave town quickly due to business decisions. So we have to live in apartments. So here we are in the southeast in a moderate apartment, yet we still prep. And this is just a short video on some of the things that we do. In the field of view there, you'll see that's 15 liters, formerly of tonic water, diet tonic, because I'm trying to lose weight and make sure I'm in best shape in case something happens. But when those are done, and we get those fancy little carriers from one of the major soft drink manufacturers, and the people where we buy this in bulk haven't realized that they're not supposed to give us those containers, so I haven't brought it up yet. I continue to buy them. But it's a great way. I've got 15 liters of clean water there in a nice plastic carrying case. It's got great carrying handles on the side. Now we're getting close to hurricane season here, so I know what everybody's going to say about the PET bottles and they won't last long term, but we got to prepare for everyday emergencies as well as we do for long-term emergencies. And for my wife and I, this works. This will be 45 liters of water that I've put up, plus I've got a lot of gallon containers and some more. We've got about 10 to 12 days worth of water for the two of us, and that's on a full water usage scale. Hygiene, possibly even using the bathroom. Obviously, if we saw a hurricane coming, we would have time to fill our bathtub. We also have several retention ponds in our apartment complex here, of which we could drag that water out of there and use it for just about everything. We also have a catered-in filter that we could even drink that water if we had to. But we have the water, so it's one less thing to worry about when something happens and crap, we got to go. So, like I said, prep with what you have. You can have all the money in the world, buy a bunch of stainless steel water containers and go crazy on putting up water, but water still needs, unless you get it in some sort of hermetically sealed device that I don't know of, water still needs to be changed out. So this is something that's very easily done. I just made these up. I cleaned them out and made them up in probably 45 minutes while I was watching the news. So prep within your financial boundaries, I guess, is what I mean to say. Prepping within your lifestyle is my second point. Prepping should not take over everything that you do in life, okay? It should be something that you do and something that you take seriously, but you still need to go out and have fun and like I said, with Mrs. Prepper and I, to travel and go out and have a good time. We still do all that, but we still prep for the worst because we have to. In this current climate, things could go bad, really quickly, and it's something that you should just plan for. Here we are, we're approximately 1,100 miles from our home. We don't really know if we would bug out for our home. We're currently looking at bug out property, but with us traveling all over the United States, it's very difficult for us to do. So what do? We plan for the worst case scenario, which is we may have to walk the 1,100 miles to where we live, to get back to our homestead. And it's not a homestead, it's a tract house outside of a major city, and we probably wouldn't want to go there, but we may try because we have family there. It still doesn't mean that I'm not going to be prepared for my wife and I. If anything, at least I can try to find a way to do something in a month or 2 months or whatever, so that we can be better off than our neighbors that are living with 3 days worth of food in their refrigerator or pantries. And who knows? I mean, at least give yourself all the alpha factors that you can give yourself. So like I said, this is a small water storage thing. Now, I've got a couple other things I want to show you. Now, I'm going handheld on the camera here, so I apologize for the shakiness, but here we are in the guest room of my home, an apartment. But here's our guest closet. You can see it's filled with my clothing, but a bunch of freeze-dried preps. I've got all my firearms and stuff stacked neatly over there with all my ammunition, as well as some other things in here that I'm not going to show you. I kind of debated whether or not I was going to get into that because of the whole OPSEC thing, but I wanted to show you. Look, use the guest closet. I've got probably 3 to 4 months worth of freeze-dried food in there that I may or may not be able to take with us because we may be able to, have to bug out of here on foot, or if we can get out of here in our vehicles, then all that would go with us. So, something to think about. I figured I would at least offer an alternative option for those of you that think, oh, I can't prep because I live in an apartment. You can. You have to make some sacrifices, but, you'll be glad you did if something happens. Now, lastly, about prepping shouldn't take over your life. But there's certain parts of your preps that can actually be very enjoyable and something that you could just do for fun. And this is what I do. This is my garden, my patio garden. We live on the 3rd floor here. It's a screened-in patio. So what I have here is several 13-gallon containers with produce growing in them. Now, I started these from seed back in February. And look at the size of this tomato plant. And I won't put myself in frame, but I can guarantee, even if the green in the background there's probably, here we go. That's my tomato plant. It's over 7 feet tall. Now, I don't know what it's going to produce here with the screened-in patio. This is my first try. I figured I would give it a whirl. But it's something that I figured I'd try it out. You know what? And I enjoy it. I get to come out here and water them and look at them. I've got 2 different tomato plants here, 2 peppers, 3 garlic, and some basil growing in all of these. And I grew them all from seed. With the exception of the garlic, I just stuffed the cloves in the dirt. And everybody says that they never succeed with those. But I'm going to give it a whirl. Why not? What else do I got to do? Well, I come home from work, put some water on these, get to sit out here on this nice patio, stare out, think about things, but we'll see. Maybe this garden will produce, maybe it won't. But I've never grown anything before, so I figured I have all these seeds stored for Armageddon, and I just did that with the quotes. But why not try my hand at growing them before I have to do it? So this is what we call a living experiment. So just a couple of thoughts and some things that I think about. It's it's a day-to-day grind with this kind of stuff, but don't let it take over your life. Don't become that weirdo that crawls into a corner in your house every day and puts a tinfoil hat on. You're basically prepping just for whether it be a natural disaster like we could have down here in a hurricane or something like that, where you have to go 10 days without electricity. We got to go 10 days without electricity here. I'm set. I'm good. I have propane stoves. I have everything that I need. If things go worse than that, well then, we're going to have to take the best path that I can give us in this life that Mrs. Prepper and I have, which is We got to, put everything on our backs and bail. And maybe, we all know everybody says, well, you can't go to the national parks and everybody's going to go there. Well, I don't have any other ideas. I got to go somewhere. And until I can get a bug-out property and find a way to get there, because, let's say I buy something here in the southeast and then next year I'm in the northeast. Well, that's almost a year to get across the country if you don't have a vehicle. So you really just gotta you plan for whatever you can plan for, and the rest of it you just leave in God's hands. That's all you can do. So in the words of the guys I like to watch on here, Such, long live the Republic.